Hello. Give me just a second to bring you up. Hello, hello. Hello. I see you guys coming on. I see you guys coming on. Let me turn my volume down on the iPad. Can you guys hear me? Hi, Paula. Can you guys hear me okay? Hi, Molly. Well, I am coming to you. Hi, Gail. I'm coming to you live from my booth in Surprise. When we're done with this project this afternoon, I'll take you guys on a quick tour if you live here locally. It's a really cool place. Carol, thanks for letting me know you can hear me. The air conditioner above is kind of loud, so I wasn't sure. Okay, so we have a really fun project. I don't know if you guys saw my little TikTok video that I did. Hello, my friend, Melissa. But I did, let me turn it around here so you guys can see. I got started on, I can't say it's finished. I got started on the Cowboy. This is a set of nightstands. Let me turn you around here. So there he is. And that's the Cowboy. And today we're going to do the companion piece with the Cowgirl. She came out first, and then, gosh, a year later, Royce came up with that burning hunk of love over there. And then next week, I'm going to work on both of them at the same time, but I've done the burlap finish. Let me bring the camera in a little closer so you can see what that looks like. My wires are crossing over here. So you can see it's got rough texture to it and a variety of colors, and it's burlappy. And that's what I'm going to do to this piece next week. So let me bring the camera down. And I'll bring you up to date on what I've done so far. I posted pictures of what this nightstand, these are matching nightstands, and I posted a picture of what it looked like when I started. And then I top coated the whole thing in slick stick because the surface of this was a real shiny wood finish, and I wanted to be sure that this paint adhered well to it. And so on the parts where you see white, the whole thing was slick stick, but on the part where I'm putting the transfer design, this is a coat of dried sage, because that's a perfect color for the background of this tissue. And this is a drawer. It's a really nice velvet lined drawer. And then there's two more drawers. And so we're going to situate this tissue on here so that those drawers are still functional. If you guys have done this before, give me a thumbs up or hearts if you've done decoupage on a dresser or drawers before. And so what I need to do first is take the edge off of this paper. I don't want a straight edge going along on either side. So the organic way to get a nice edge, and that's the same edge that I have on that piece, is to just do it with a dish of water and a pointy paintbrush. I almost said toothbrush, you guys. It's weird going live here from, oh, I got a little water spill there. Let me get some paper towels. I probably need them anyway. Looks like it was a rather large water spill. It's weird going from here. I'm usually coming live from home, and then I was in here, I think on Sunday afternoon, picking something up, and this location, this is my surprise location, and it's only open Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And so when I was in here on Sunday, there of course was nobody here, and I was thinking, gosh, there's nobody here on Tuesdays either. Typically, I mean, people who have booths here can come anytime they want. But I thought, well, that would work out really good to do the live, especially since the Cowboy was already here. Well, actually, this Cowgirl was here because I've been working on her. I'm kind of like discombobulated because I work from home and I work from here, and I was concerned about having everything here that I needed for this project. I was concerned that the internet would have a adequate signal, but it seems to all be working out. And you guys don't even care where I'm coming from, right? Let me see what your comments are. Hi, Jerry. Hi, Jean. Molly, I hope you can catch it on the replay. Hi, Robin. Hi, Tessie. Cool. Lots of you are here. Okay, so what I'm doing, and I just want to be sure I've got you guys in the camera, is I've taken my brush and I've wet this whole edge along here. Can you guys see the wet edge? Yeah, I think you can. And so now I'm going to just start pulling it, just pulling pieces of it. I don't want it to be even. I want it to be organic. So I'm just kind of like pinching and pulling on it. If you didn't catch the beginning, I wet it with a brush, just the edge of it, a brush and some water. And I use this technique almost every time I decoupage because I really don't like to have, can you guys see what that looks like? I don't like to have a straight line. There we go. Now you guys can see what that edge looks like. And I'm going to do that to both sides. This little section already dried up, or maybe I just missed it. Hi, Lynette. Thanks for joining us today. I have I had started working on this set of nightstands probably 6 months ago, and then life just got out of control. Pinners conference and my brother being sick and the holidays, and it was like I just never got back to it. So I'm excited to get this done, and the technique of the burlap is a really cool technique to have in your toolbox. It's not what you want to put on every piece of furniture, but there are pieces of furniture and designs that really lend themselves to it. Okay, so we got a nice organic edge on this whole piece here. And I'm going to turn it around and do the same thing on the other side. Hi, Linda. So, are you guys working on any special projects right now? Melissa, you always have something going. What are you guys all working on? When we're done with this, I'm excited to just do a quick little walk around where the studio is here. There are 49 working artists here that work out of this location, and they do everything imaginable. They do pottery and oil painting and watercolors and stained glass and glass fusing and jewelry, and there's an art gallery and a gift shop up front. It's just the coolest place. I have a Linda and a Lynette. Hello, hello, you guys. So let me get you back in camera here so you can see what I'm doing. So I wet the edge with my brush and some water, and now I'm just pulling it off. Just the tissue just tears, and that's what I'm doing, is tearing it. I want to be sure you guys are in the camera here. Yeah, okay. So that blower above me is drying this out faster than I can get it torn. Here it is, still winter, and it's pretty warm in here. I think it's just the blower, not air conditioning, but I don't know what it's going to be like in the summertime. I haven't been here long enough to know. Does anybody have any questions so far? You guys are awfully quiet. Decoupaging is one of my very favorite things to do. And the iron-on method is one of my favorites. And when you buy a tissue from me, I always include the iron-on instructions. I'm a retailer for Roy Cycle, and this is one of her designs. It's a very popular design. And for the process that we're doing today, you could use the iron-on method as well, but I think doing it this way will work out just fine. Okay, so we've torn all our tissue. We've got a nice organic edge. And now I just need to arrange things, so I need to put this iPad somewhere other than my lap. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to figure out where the center is on this. I have a ruler here. I did use that. Guys, in case you've never seen flexible rulers before, I sell them off of my website and in my booth. They are the most awesome. If you're going around a round piece and you need to have a straight line on it to do checks or squares or harlequins or whatever, these are awesome. Okay, so I'm just going to measure. So that's there, and then from the other side, looks like it needs to come this way just a skosh. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I like to decoupage using top coats. Whatever top coat you happen to have on hand is what you want to use. If you're starting your project with gator hide, then finish the whole project with gator hide. If you're starting your project with satin, then finish it. And there's also flat. It doesn't matter which one of them you use, just use them from start to finish. Let me move this camera. So we're going to be up here at the top. So I'm just going to fold this back. And I'm going to squirt some of this satin top coat onto my dish. Load up my brush, and I'm just going to paint on a coat of satin top coat. I don't have any puddles or anything, but I am being liberal with it. And I need some plastic wrap. You know, I always try to have everything ready to go, but there's always something I forget to grab. I'm just using, you can use a Ziploc bag, you can use, you know, a grocery bag. I have a brand new thing of saran wrap here. I'm just trying to find the beginning on it. Sorry, you guys. There we go. Finally. Okay, and I'm just going to go back over it with another wet coat since that took me so long to get the saran wrap going. If that water dries out, this probably does too. All right, so I'm just going to lay this back over. And just press it down gently with your fingers, and I'm going to work from the center out. And the reason for using the saran wrap is if you use your fingers, you don't have any idea how much tension there is on your fingertips, how much texture and tension. And so by using the saran wrap, that gives you a really smooth, tension-free surface to smooth it all out. It's a really nice trick. And so if you're working on a piece that wouldn't lend itself to being ironed, this is a good trick to know. So there's a concave curve here, and then a hump, and then it goes down into a little crevice down here. And I just want to be sure that I have it all down and that I don't have any bubbles on it. And that looks good. And then I'm going to take my X-Acto knife. In case you don't know what an X-Acto knife is, it's one of these. It has a really sharp blade on the end, and it comes with a protective cap. And it's a really handy thing to have. It's very sharp. And so now I'm just going to cut off this edge right here. I'm just going to make a little bit of a crease there, so I want a nice straight edge. And I'm just running it right along the edge, the bottom edge of that drawer. And then I have a nice straight edge to work from. So again, I'm going to take my paper, my saran wrap, and just make sure that this edge where I cut it is secured down. Isn't that cool, you guys? Give me some likes or some hearts. Last week you guys shared my video like 4 times, and it was so cool because that really bounces up the algorithms, and then Facebook decides, oh, that must be pretty good, we'll show it again. So I appreciate it very much when you guys do that. Okay, so now we're going to work on the second drawer. Same thing, going to slather it up with the satin top coat. And the reason I like to use the top coats. I know a lot of people still use Mod Podge for their decoupage, and the truth about Mod Podge is, number one, all it is water and glue. And it is not archival, which means that over time it's going to break down, it's going to yellow, it can crack. So especially on a piece of furniture, you don't want to be using something that's going to break down in 10 or 12 years. You want something to last longer than that in most cases. So using the top coats, they never yellow, and you're using the same thing on the surface and on the top. So you get a really nice finish. I'm going to give it just a little bit more since that air is blowing. Say hi if you're just coming on. In case you've missed it, we're decoupaging the cowgirl that matches the cowboy onto this nightstand. So it'll be a really cool set. And then next week, I will show you how to do the burlap texture finish on it, which is really cool. Okay, so continuing on, I need to get this lined back up with the top. I think that looks good. Sorry, the air is really dry in here. Okay, and again, taking the saran wrap and starting in the center of your piece. I'm starting at the top and in the center. And working my way down. I should have not done that whole drawer. I should have just done a section of it. So I'm going to have to be really careful. So doing this piece, you guys kind of reminds me of Yellowstone. Or not Yellowstone, it actually reminds me of 1883. Are you guys watching that show? Or either one of them, for that matter? I'll look at the comments in a minute. I'm just trying to focus on, I shouldn't have put so much product on such a large area. I was just too busy chattering. I'm used to working alone, you guys. And again, you can see by using your fingertip with a saran wrap over it, any little wrinkles or imperfections just smooth right out. But be gentle still because it's wet. It's still fragile. I don't know what kind of hardware I'm going to use on these. I need to still do some research on the hardware. If you guys are just coming on, I'll look at the comments in a minute. I just want to get this down first. Hi, Sunny. Good to see you. Yeah, I love this paper too. And I've got the cowboy on the other piece. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cut it where this drawer is. So I'm just rubbing it where my finger is and then lining up this blade from the X-Acto knife right against the edge of that drawer. And that will give me a really smooth, perfect cut. You could use a straight edge razor blade for this too, but these X-Acto knives are really nice to use because you've got a handle. Gives you a little bit more control. And then I want to come down this side, and I'm just rubbing it down so that I can see. I need to put a little more product on this edge here. And then I'm going to give it a cut on this side of the drawer. Same thing. I just dipped my blade into my dish of water because it's got a lot of satin on it and it was starting to get sticky. Just talk amongst yourselves, you guys. Now, I just want to say this. I think this piece will be fine, but if you're working on a large piece like this and you get up the next morning and you've got a couple of wrinkles, don't worry about it. Just put your parchment paper over the top of it and get an iron with no water in it. Set it on the wool setting and iron it out. Just like that. Okay, one more cut, you guys. One more cut for this drawer anyway. Always using the saran wrap to smooth out. I think that edge needs just a little bit more product on it, and I'm using, the product is satin top coat. Lay it back down, and then I like to start in the center. So I have a question, you guys. Instead of doing an event post today like I normally do, because it seems like a lot of people don't pay any attention to those, so today I did a TikTok and posted it in TikTok and Instagram and on Facebook. So did you guys happen to see that, or did you just get a notification that I was coming on? I'm trying to figure out what works best. And I did a post a couple of days ago with the QR codes for all my social media, for my YouTube page, for my TikTok, for Instagram, for Facebook, for Pinterest. So if you guys didn't see that post, it has the QR codes. It's just simple to put your phone up to it. It takes you right to it. And if you would like and subscribe, I would sure appreciate it. I'm trying to do more videos for YouTube that aren't Facebook videos, so that there isn't all the chit chat and the questions and all of that going on. I have to do all the things myself, so it's a process, you guys. I'm gonna pull this back and just make sure that that edge is down well. And once this is all down, then I'm going to go back and put another coat of satin top coat on the top. Okay, this time I'm going to do it the correct way. I'm only going to do a small section this time. So I'm going to do about this much this time. And it'll be a lot easier to control. So the lesson here is do it right the first time, and it's a lot easier. Hi, Lois. Oh, you did see it was scheduled on Facebook? Good. Thank you for letting me know. The other advantage to doing it a smaller section like that is if you get a section, because your paper stretches, and doing a big section like that all at one time, I could tell I had a lot of stretch in the paper. It does shrink down when it dries, but it did make it a little more challenging to get everything down and worked out. Where if you just do a small section at a time like this and just work it out as you go, it's much easier. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this top section of the drawer here. And the reason I'm doing that is so I can get that paper to lay down flat. And then we'll finish this section of the drawer and then do the sides and then the bottom. You know what, Lois? I miss my brother helping me too. I was rewatching a couple of videos yesterday and today that he helped me on, and just hearing his voice in the background just made me really sad. I did chat with him the other day and he's not doing well at all. Prayers for him would be very much appreciated. She's so sassy looking. Thank you, Lois. You can never have too many prayers. And it was a sad conversation with him, but it was a blessing too, because he's been so angry with me that he usually won't talk, and that was the first time he's talked to me for a while. So you can see that it's really much easier and more controllable if you do a section at a time. And if you can tell, I'm offloading my brush over here to get the bulk of it off the top coat, and then working my way up to underline. So you can see that this section is going along much easier than when I did that big giant section to start with. So if you guys are interested in this tissue or any of the tissues that I have, they are available. All of them are available online, and you can order to have it shipped, or you can order it to pick up. And they're also available. There's a smaller selection available here in Surprise. If I know you're coming over here and you're looking for something in particular, I can be sure that it's here for you. I keep fewer of them at the Brass Armadillo now, simply because I have such a theft problem there, and I'm just tired of people stealing. So I don't have as much there as I used to carry. Almost done decoupaging her. Sandy, I have two locations, the Brass Armadillo in Phoenix, and then where I am today is at my Surprise location, and that's off of 134th Avenue and Belle Road in Surprise. And like I was saying earlier, if you didn't catch it, this is the coolest place. There are 49 working artists here. So even if you're coming here to see what I have and to shop and buy, there's an art gallery and a gift shop. And at any given time, there'll be quite a few artists that are working. They do pottery, oil painting, watercolor, jewelry, all kinds of really cool stuff is happening here all the time. It puts a smile on my face every time I walk through the door. I'm so blessed to have found a wonderful place like this with wonderful people in it. Okay, so first of all, I didn't realize that I didn't have the camera on that. Sorry, you guys. Let's see if I've got it on now. Okay, so I'm going to move this over here and start cutting this piece right here where that drawer is, and I want to just run my saran wrap over it again so I can see a really good edge there. You know, sometimes you just get so wrapped up in what you're doing, what you're thinking, that I forget to look up and see if you guys are still in camera line, especially when I'm working on a big piece like this. Sorry about that. I need to wipe my blade off again. So then I like to always take my nail and just run it through that opening. On this nightstand, it has a wider opening on this side that I'm in. It has a very narrow opening over here, and that may change when it's upright and not laying on its back like this. And then I want to cut it right here in this crevice. I'm going to wipe it off so I have a nice clean cut. I'm going to start up here. Now I have a really good edge on here to rest my blade against, But let's say I didn't have that. And my cut was less than perfect. Then you can just go back with some no pain, I meant not no pain, the wax. It's not easy peasy. It's best dang. Had a brain fart there. There's that. And I never ever throw my scraps away, you guys, because you can always use them on something. Like this would be really cool on another piece. I'm not sure what you would do here, but you could always cut out that star patch and add to another piece. So I never get rid of them because doing a collage with whatever your leftovers are is a really cool thing to do. So I'm going to give everything a second coat of the satin top coat. And when you do this and you start to see it lift or wrinkle back up, don't panic, because tissue paper is elastic, and that means it's going to stretch. It's going to lift and it's going to stretch. And when it dries, it goes back down. So don't panic. And by putting another top coat on, that protects your paper. So if anything gets dripped or spilled on it, it's going to be protected. Now, like I did a decoupage on the top of a coffee table, and that thing had like 4 coats of, it had 2 coats of satin on it, and it had at least it had at least 4 coats of gator hide on it, because it's a coffee table, and you never know what somebody's going to set on it. And in Arizona we have a lot of condensation because of differences in temperature, and so I just wanted to be sure that it was well protected. Hi, Sue. Glad you could join us. Now, one thing I didn't mention, and I should have, and honestly, I didn't mention it because I didn't think of it till just this minute, is when you're positioning your paper, it's important to figure out where your hardware is. And I'm going to put the same hardware back in that was in it. And so my hardware, I can see the hole here and here. And thankfully, it's not in the middle of her face or her eyeball, because I did not check for that, which was not terribly smart. So I'm just telling you. And I remember doing the exact same thing on the Cowboy. And I thought of it once today when I was just refreshing myself on how I did the Cowboy, and to do her the exact same way, to be sure and make sure that the hardware hole wasn't going to go through her eyeball. Now, if I had made a mistake and it was, I think it would be fixable from the other side. I could fill the hole from going on the inside, and I just have a little bit of product left. I might as well just use it on this piece. And then fill it from the inside, and then drill a new hole wherever I needed the hardware to be. I think it would have been fixable, but it's better not to have to figure those things out. It's better to just do them correctly to start with. Don't you think? Okay, so this is as much as we're going to do on her today, and I'm just going to let her sit here. I'm not going to try to pick her up because she's too wet, but if you guys want to stay on for 5 more minutes, I'll walk you around the studio so you can see what things look like around here. If you're interested in that, give me some hearts or some likes, and I'll pull the camera off and we'll take a little walk around. I think there's only one other person here today in the studio. Before we do that, now that I stood up, I can see some areas that are lifting up. Looks like I might not have gotten product underneath there, and if that's the case, then tomorrow I'll just take some straight pin or needle, poke it, and get some product underneath there, because it looks like there's a whole section there that I didn't get. Okay, so let me pull you guys off of here. Hello. Oh, okay. I thought it would let me rotate, but it won't. So let me see if it'll let me flip the screen. Hi, Mary. I just saw you. Okay, it's not gonna let me flip the screen in the middle of a video. So I'm just gonna turn it around this way. So my booth isn't usually this big a mess, but you know, you can see all of my product and everything down here on the floor. I know what I'll do. I'll walk around with my iPad too. Okay, so there's the Dixie Belle, there's the Wise Owl, and all the new silk paints came in this week, and the colors are really, really pretty, you guys. I was really surprised at how pretty some of those colors were. Let me see if I can show you any of them. The midnight green, because I'm partial to greens. Let me see if I can get Well, I can't get it out without knocking everything over. But the midnight green is gorgeous. There's prickly pear, mirage, oasis. Morning sunrise is a pretty one. It has a bit of a violet tint to it. The desert rose is really pretty. I'm not partial to pinks or pastels, but that one's really pretty. And then there's a sunrise and a Mojave, and the cactus is a really pretty color. And the umber is like a brown. So that's the new silks. Let me show you some of the rest of this wonderful place. So here's one of the studios, and her name is Jenny, and she's obviously a potter. She does beautiful work. Here's some of her work out here. And anytime it's out here or up front in the gallery, it's for sale. The kilns and all the potter tables and all of that are all back here in the back. This gal is my neighbor, and her name is Judy, and she is an oil painter. Does mostly landscapes, but not entirely. Here I am. And then there is Sharon and Karen, and they're potters. These people do such amazing things. It looks like, there, that's more focused. I'm not sure what those, she might be doing more totems. I'm not sure what those guys are, but they're really awesome. I love their faces and heads. And that little cottage. And then there are a lot of totems around here. And here's one of them. This is my neighbor, Jackie. And when their red board is down, that means you can go in and shop inside their booth and look at what they have at work in progress. Those are the people that are on my row, and like I said, there's 49 working artists in here. Let me flip this switch. So this is the gift shop. And there's jewelry, pottery, all kinds of really cool things. If you want to find a special gift for someone, this would be a really cool place to come shopping. There's silversmiths here. This is the classroom, so that's a good thing for me to mention is I have several classes coming up. I have a decoupage tray class that you can make it into a tray or a clock or a charcuterie board or a lazy Susan. There's all kinds of things you can do with it. That class is coming up and it's on my Facebook page. I don't know what the date is exactly. And then it's sometime in March. And then in April, there's a 2-day furniture refinishing class, and that's going to be really fun. We'll be in this classroom, and that'll be a really fun class. You can bring any piece of furniture that you can carry in and carry out. We'll consult about it before you come to the class so that I know what product that you want to use on it, what kind of finish you're looking for. whether you want to decoupage, whether you want to use transfers, whatever you want to do. So those classes are on the website. I have a super fun class coming up this Monday that is a private class, and you guys might not know that I'm open to do private classes. And those gals are doing terracotta pots with molds, and that'll be a really fun class, and they are a super fun group of ladies, and it's my understanding that they're bringing some wine and then going out to dinner, and they're all coming from the east side of town, so it's a field trip for them. So, and I've done classes for these gals before, and it's my friend Mary, and she's taken, I think, 3 or 4 classes. I kind of lost count. But anyway, this is an awesome place. So if you're coming to see me, that's wonderful. But there's so much to see. Look at this guy. Patchwork sheep. Oh my goodness, I love him. He is super cute. I can't turn my phone sideways because Facebook won't let me do that on a live. But you can see there's all kinds of really cool things here. Some amazing artists. You get lots of ideas and inspiration. I've shown you guys this little character before. He makes me smile at every time I see him. My daughter says he creeps her out, but I think he's just adorable. And then this leads back to my booth. And as you can see, there's just so much to see. This is another really great potter. Her name is Debbie. And this is her work area. She's tidy. And this is some of her work. So, do you guys have any questions? That's the back of my iPad. Okay, so we're back at my booth. Thank you so much for hanging in there with me. Hey Mary, I'm so excited too. Now you can see where you're coming. It's an amazing place. You can show this video to all your girls. So I'll see you guys, and thanks so much for joining me this afternoon. And I'm here every Tuesday at 4 Mountain Standard Time. So watch for me. Bye-bye.